the Route 77 podcast. In today's episode, we share the unique joys of journeying with fellow single friends. Have you ever pondered how traveling isn't just about the destinations, but the bonds formed along the way? Or how sometimes the most profound relationships aren't necessarily romantic ones? Well, stick around and let's embark on this enlightening journey. Welcome to the Route 77 podcast. I am your host, Natasha, and I am here with Monique.
Hello.
But no David today. He is super busy with his job and is just up to his eyeballs in coding. So he can't be with us tonight. We figured we just came back from a really great vacation time, and we thought we would talk about traveling with single people, but together.
And tips and tricks that will help your travel to be much more enjoyable.
Yeah, and we even brought it up with somebody on the way. We said, who says you have to travel alone? And she's going, that's true.
Yep.
Exactly. It's something that sometimes you just don't think about, and you just assume, or you don't really put too much thought in it. They realize, hey, I don't have to travel alone just because I'm single. You can choose to, but why? If you're with a good friend.
Because I know some people who have just gone backpacking through Europe and stuff like that. And that can be fun, but it's so much more fun if you have a buddy.
Yeah. And even I think we had mentioned before that meetup.com, and there's even, I think, a group on there about people who like to travel, like single people, who like to travel. So it's a good way to get to know people too.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be a meetup.
No.
It can just be a bunch of people getting together to travel to places that you would have a whole lot more fun with if you had other people with like-minded interests.
Exactly. So for us, we've talked a lot about Korea.
You're right.
How Korea bonded us with David and Monique and myself. So travel can be a really good bonding experience, which is interesting because I'm not a natural traveler. I like to be at home. Monique can attest to this on my days off.
Can't even get you to go camping.
No, not even camping. Darn. Give me a hotel. Thank you. Or a person's couch. I'm good at that too. I just like to be warm and dry and have a bathroom nearby.
We usually do have those things when you go camping. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a wet experience. Although I have had that.
All my experiences of camping have been wet and cold. That's like a young family and your parents don't have a lot of money, then that's a way to go. I know a lot of parents go that way with camping is a great way for them to save money, and that's great, but it's definitely not something I would choose to do. But Monique and I, we just spent about a week in Calgary, and the purpose for going there was less about touristy things and more about family. So it was really good experience. It was a lot of fun. And there was,
yeah, because my family is all in Calgary. Not all of them, but a lot of them are.
Yeah, and I have an aunt and uncle and some cousins, and I got to see my aunt and uncle. So it was so good. It was interesting because we flew out together, and then we went to our respective families, but then we crossed over. You met my aunt and uncle, I met your family, and we hung out together at different intervals.
And not every day either, because there were a couple of days where I had other things to do and you had other things to do.
Yeah, exactly. So it was relaxing. There was a lot of peopling, which is still wonderful, but it is tiring for introverts.
Yeah. By the end of a couple of days, my brain is gone. I had nothing left.
Yeah. And we got to meet your little niece.
Yep.
She's 5 and she has energy coming out of her ears. She is just
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
it's wonderful, but very energetic, like most 5-year-olds.
And it took a little bit for her to adjust to my presence in the house because she didn't know how to take me and she didn't know what to do with me. And being the youngest family member by far, she was slightly hysterical. So yeah, so there was definitely some very interesting times there, but I was so happy to have the time spent with her. Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because I had met your mother and one of your brothers already. Yeah. And I'd said hi to most of your other family at one time or another on Zoom. And even though our relationship is just like friends, platonic, sisters, there was this feeling of meeting the in-laws. That's just funny. It's weird because we've created a family bond within our house here.
Yep.
It then you realize that family bond does extend to extended family.
Right.
And people want to get to know you because you're
Sharing the same
sharing the
house.
same house.
They want to know if you're a safe person to be around.
Yeah. And so you're gauging like each other, even though you might have interacted on Facebook or like on Zoom, but it was really good to meet like all your family, your mom, you ever seen your mom again and your dad and your dad's wife and then all the brothers.
All the brothers and the nieces. Because I have no nephews, they're all nieces. And even my best friend that I've had since I was 12 years old, meeting her, and even that,
And you have this like, you have to pass the friend test with the best friend, the lifelong best friend.
Yeah.
Whew, I think I did. Okay.
I think there might have been a little bit of jealousy, but not that much. Because her and I are the same thing. We've been best friends since I was 12. And I am now in my late 50s. There you go. If you're wondering how old I was, there you go. And we've had such a long time of being friends, so much. And of course, my whole family knows her. And so, yeah, it was very bizarre because it was really hard not to have that. We are really not a couple. I'm telling you, we are really not a couple. It was just like, here comes big family barbecue. Here comes all my relatives. This is my housemate. This is my family. And it's just like, why did that feel weird?
It does it was a little, not weird, like in a sense, like I didn't feel weird, but there was this awkward, like, how does this relationship really get explained? Because we live in a culture that's so romantic relationship oriented that like when you're not that, it's hard, it's abnormal. How it feels like a normal thing. But it was so good to get more personality than a Zoom hello.
Right. And my family has got all the personality. Let me tell you.
Yeah. And it was really good they were really welcoming. And I think my uncle really liked you. And
yeah. And even meeting there was just okay. So this is the housemate.
Housemate. Yeah. I think there was one work thing that somebody heard when I was out with you and they heard husband.
I think it was at church.
Yeah, or something. No, I think because I had one of my coworkers go, you're not like together. I'm like, no. And it's because somebody heard like husband. And that's the words one to put on there anyway, since we're both women. But who knows? In this day and age, we don't know. They're probably not sure how to. And so we're breaking the mold. So we're trying to break the friendship mold.
A partner kind of.
What friendship can look like. And I think that's why I get drawn to there's that television show Psych.
Oh, yeah.
That I introduced Monique to. If you haven't seen it, it's really funny.
It was filmed here in White Rock.
Yes, so you'll see a lot of familiar places if you're from that area.
Yeah, but it's about two guys who are just friends.
Really good friends from like kindergarten. And the way that the actors riff on each other, it works really. They just have a really good relationship as actors. And the show went for 8 seasons, and it was really funny. So I recommend that one. But it's just so nice to see like a friendship driven. Like they had their own like girlfriends at times, and one had the main girlfriend and stuff. But their relationship was always the front and center.
Yeah,
as friends. In this culture, it's so hard to like. Because there's so many things can go and people aren't sure, like they're trying to be accepting and they're not sure how, so they're waiting for you to label yourselves because you just don't know anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we joke about getting t-shirts that just say, just friends.
Just friends. Yeah.
So if people are wondering, we're just friends.
We are just friends. Sisters in Christ. Just friends.
Just friends. Just friends. So, yeah. So, yeah, it was like, so this is just an example of if we still talk about we wanted to go to Korea again and
want to go to the Creation Museum.
We want to go to the Creation Museum.
Want to see Noah's Ark.
That's sort of one of our
Patty wants to go with us.
Nice. That's Monique's cousin who I got to visit. She came home with us for a couple of days, so that was wonderful. Thank you, Patty. It was good to meet you.
Yep.
And then so she tagged along with us back to our place, and yeah, it was just like an extension of the trip. And I think we're two laid back, easygoing people.
You're trying to say those two words into one, right?
Lazy people. No, people are lazy people, apparently.
That could be some too.
So it's a lot of So just having her here, it's just, yeah, she's laid back a bit too, as far as I can tell. And she's crashed on the couch and she was good. And we had a good time. Yep. Visiting with her as an extension, like a postscript to our trip.
Yeah, exactly. It was
So
pretty cool. Yeah.
it was nice. Yeah, like I'm definitely looking forward to doing that type of a trip again. Next year, it's always good to connect with family. For me, it was important to visit my aunt and uncle because actually it was hard when you talk on FaceTime or if you're on the phone, you forget how long it's been. And for me, it had been 2015 when I moved out to BC was the last time I had actually seen them in person. I'm like, I got to get on this. They're not that far away. And we were able to just look at our schedules and we just found this time that would work.
Yep.
And found some good flights.
And it wasn't a long trip. Like we weren't gone for a long
It was like
period.
6 days, I think. So
Yeah.
it wasn't super long. We fit a lot of stuff in, but there was one day you were doing stuff with your friends, and my aunt and uncle and I, we went out to lunch and just hung out at the house all day. For me, that's a good day because they're always like, "Is there anything you want to do?" And I'm like, "Hang out with you guys."
Yep.
That's because I'm not like a doer, a goer, or go where I need to do. I didn't do something special every day like that. It was just nice to have some family time and chat. And same with your family. A lot of that was just like hanging out, chatting, and it was really good.
Getting to know who, I think for my family too, because I'd been alone for so long and I'm living here in BC pretty much on my own except for my daughter. So for them, it was like, okay, we really want to know who you are because you're in her life like that. We want to make sure that you're a person and everybody liked you. So that was really cool. Even like my stepmom, Bev, who can be quite particular about people, she'll be friendly and stuff. But you guys were off and you were just chatting about a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm down in the other room with my dad, who is quite frail now in his age. And it was really good that you met my dad because now when we pray about my dad, you've got a visual about, now I know what we did to really pray for him. Even he was like, oh, good person, gets along well with Ben. I do my best. Oh, there you go.
It's definitely like a bonding experience. It increased the bond of friendship and family and sisterhood within us. And yeah, it's definitely something I would recommend.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think we bring it up almost every podcast, how we bonded in Korea.
Yep.
And that was like we went from 3 people who worked out together and chatted a little bit
to becoming like a sibling. Yeah.
And that's why we always call David our little brother. And we tease him and rib him like a little brother. And
but he deserves it.
And he takes it with good humor.
He does. Yeah.
And because what was interesting there too, we were like, it was specific because we do taekwondo. So there's a purpose for us going to Korea. It wasn't just a random country we threw it on a dartboard and went to. We had a specific purpose. We wanted to train in taekwondo and also understand the culture and the people of this martial art that we are like so involved in.
If I did a dartboard country, we'd probably end up in the Pacific Ocean.
Just a cruise, then cruise.
That works. Yeah.
So like just the Korea one, like I said, it was very planned out. Like we had a tour guide for all the daytime and we were the entire time.
Yeah.
And then we did the taekwondo and hapkido at night. So we were very sore from that and very tired from all the walking.
Well.
But yeah, I remember the one time that when we were doing the taekyon, which is like a heritage martial art in Korea, because I was outside of the tour ones part. So there was less structure. So we had things that we were going to do in the afternoon and we did the taekyon training in the morning. But then it was like, it wasn't super early in the morning. And one time, like everyone else that had come with us had gone out, but it was just you, me, and David. And I think we were hanging out in a room chatting for 2 hours. And it was just like such a nice time.
Yep. I remember when we walked around, because we took a walk outside too. And we found this park with this exercise equipment. We're on trying to
exercise equipment. Yeah. And then we explained, I think, the time we went to do the laundry.
Yep.
Just these such big bonding is that the fact that I think all 3 of us are basically introverts, and yet like we came in another country, there's this forced bonding in a sense where nothing is normal for any of us, and we just go and we just open our arms and take what comes. And
and I think that Taekwondo Center was the one that really did a lot for us too, because we were literally thrown on the floor
Yes.
because that's where we slept, on the
Slept on
floor.
the floor.
Yeah. And we got all achy. And then I think there was one morning when we didn't have to do anything for a while, but we were up and it was warm. And we went out into the front under the shaded park benches and read.
And we just read books.
We just read books.
Yeah. So we were reading books in English, but in Korea. So we were doing
And every building had Korean words and we were trying to read them all.
Yes, it was hard. It was hard because we see so few Korean stuff here that we tried to read them. And then it's like our brain kept trying to do it in Korea, but like everything was Korean. So I couldn't turn my brain off. I'm like, stop looking. It was so much. But yeah, it was so good.
Yeah. So even if you like planning a big trip, it's the experience of being able to go on these trips with somebody else who can share the experiences, that you can talk over what your experiences were for the day.
Yeah.
Like when we went to that whole street, like there were streets and streets full of those stories from the war that had happened a long time ago.
Yeah. And I remember I remember like when we went to Latte World and we went on those rides and we had that one picture where like it was basically like, this is the expressions from all three of my wallets, but you couldn't see because my little bit of hair was flipped in his face. But it was like this picture captured us in Korea and anything to do with amusement parks. Like Monique is laughing her head off in the front, thinking this is the best day of her life. I am just trying to not show emotion on my face. So very stalwart. I don't like rides. It wasn't a super scary one from what I'm told, but for me, it's not. I don't like surprises and like that going up.
That was the water one, was
Water flume thingy, yeah. And so like you're going up, and all of a sudden you go down, and then David, I think, was just behind.
Water.
Yeah, David probably couldn't see much of what was going on, so he was just going with the flow, and
he was just feeling the whole.
Yeah, he was feeling it. Oh yeah, that's pretty much like anything to do with rides. That captures anything.
That's traveling. One person is laughing their head off, the other one is keeping their emotions all bottled up inside because they're just like, I don't know what's going on. And the other one's just, I'm just here for the
just there to do whatever. Yes, that's pretty much. So it definitely creates such a good experience. And if you're on your own, like it's harder to like, you don't have that, like you said, talking after to discuss all this and then all of this and all of this and this and nuances.
Sitting around the dinner table when you've got more food than you know what to do with.
Yes, they kept feeding us in Korea. You'll never go hungry when you go to Korea.
Never. No. And they'll put everything in there. And I'm not going to say
if it's red, it's spicy. But if it's not red, it still might be spicy.
Be careful.
You
and I, both of us, we're just, it's just salad. And I'm looking at
salad.
I can see red flecks on there.
It burned my lips up.
Oh my gosh.
It was hotter than the red stuff. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, I'm safe. I think it was cooked vegetables.
No, wasn't it a salad?
Maybe it was a salad. It was green.
Maybe it was green.
I think it was green. Was like maybe like bok choy or something cooked. But I thought I was safe with like steamed vegetables essentially because I'm not like, I don't mind a little bit of spice, but their little bit is a lot to my taste buds.
And this was an open buffet.
Yeah, so
there was tables and
so I thought I was safe with like steamed vegetables.
And we're just like, so where is the not hot stuff?
It was just funny because we're all like that. We were following that rule. If it's red, it's hot. So it was like, it's not red, it's green.
It was still hot.
It's still hot.
So wild. Yeah, I remember that. We both sat down and went, I can't eat this.
I was like, my lips are burning off.
Usually I'm good with spices, but that was over the top. Even I couldn't deal with it. She's, oh my gosh.
Wow. So it was tricky. So yeah, definitely we bonded over
the food,
the burning of the taste buds. So many bonding moments. It's crazy.
And that time we went for breakfast and you were looking for milk and it was just like, do they not have milk?
So for people who are listening, I don't know. If I have milk, I need milk. Just one time a day, it's fine. And my body just needs it. I don't grow up on a dairy farm. I drank milk like crazy. My stomach just doesn't feel right if I hadn't had milk in the day. Especially, it's good for me to start off the day with a little bit of milk. Then I'm good. Try whatever. Just give me my bowl of cornflakes, and then I'll try whatever. And they did a really good job. They found me milk.
They did.
They even eventually found some cornflakes or some cereal. Because unfortunately, I do not like eggs. So
that one, we're going for breakfast. There was soup.
Yes.
Even I'm like, this isn't breakfast. This is lunch.
Because
it's only 8 o'clock. I don't eat soup for breakfast.
Because from what I understand is that they don't really have a breakfast menu. It's a food menu. It's meal. So they might like that's I don't know.
Seaweed soup.
Yes, and then they put egg in it. But I asked for no egg in it, and they did because they put the egg in afterward, and then it cooks while it's hot. But my North American body was like, I can't. It's too early to deal with foreign food, but it's not foreign because we're in Korea. But my body wasn't listening.
Your body wasn't listening. No.
So when we actually started going to the hotels, it was a little better because they had the Korean menu and the Western menu.
Yes.
So,
and you ate a lot of watermelon.
Yes, I like watermelon at breakfast.
Yep.
It's just so good. So I would eat like a bowl of cornflakes. Maybe if they had bacon, I'd have a couple pieces of bacon.
And a big plate of watermelon.
Big plate of watermelon. It just tastes, it's like such a good finisher for breakfast for me. I love that. It's my favorite part when I go to a hotel and have breakfast. I'm like, watermelon, so good. I don't know. It's a good refresher for the palate. And then my taste buds are like, shit, we'll take whatever the rest of the day. We'll go wild. But I don't know, mornings, my body was just.
And half the time when we woke up, we were so tired that we weren't even really hungry.
No, and I think.
But we knew we had to eat because we knew there was a lot of activity
walking that day.
Yeah.
So I always find it interesting. It's like we did all that walking, but they fed us so much food, I did not lose any weight.
I know. What's up
like,
with that?
really? I walked like thousands of steps each day.
There was one day we did, 20?
It was an insane day. And because Korea is 80% mountains.
There's something like that.
So this is not flat walking. This is up and down and up and down and up and down. And there was that one time we were like practically, because they had us on timed like tour, like the tour guide, we were like moseying and she needed us to hurry. So we were running and there's this one like market, like street market area that's, I don't know, part of Seoul. And she's like having us walk through it, but we couldn't stop for anything because we had to get to the other side at a certain time. And then we got to the other side with 5 minutes to spare. She's okay, you have 5 minutes to look around. And we just all sat down because she's like, you're not going to go. We're like, my feet hurt. No energy. Must sit.
You guys are used to this? We are not. Although now that we live on a hill, we should practice.
We should. But will I?
Probably not.
So
we have a lot of shoulds.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Never did.
It's the joys of having a dog as well. If I go out on the bike, then he just pulls me up the hill. And I don't have to do any work. It's my own electric bike, so dog powered. One dog powered.
And he comes in the house and he's panting and big grin on his face. That was the best thing ever.
He loves it because when we go down the hill, we can just rip full speed, and he just thinks it's the best. So yeah. So yeah, that's I think number one of the traveling is the bonding.
Yep.
And but also like when you go with somebody, you can share expenses. If you have a hotel or something like that, you can share the costs that they.
Yep.
So that breaks that down. And yeah, we learned so much, like from going to Korea, from going to Calgary, and from being in the same house. There's so many different ways that you learn about people. All these different things.
One of the things mentioning about when you travel and you're going to visit family members, especially if your family members live in another, say my family, like I've got family members who live in Holland. So if I were to travel to Holland, I could stay with any one of these family members. But there's etiquette, even if they are family members, for staying with them. Number one, keep your area clean. Wherever they sit you, whether you're sleeping on the couch or sleeping in a guest room, keep your area clean because it's somebody else's house. If you go back to your house and it looks like something from a hoarder's nightmare or a neat freak's nightmare and it's a hoarder's dream, don't do that to the people you're visiting. Clean up after yourself. Have that space look exactly the same as when you showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a good way. And also don't overassume what they're going to do for you. So it's hard sometimes if you get to some families that tend to eat out a little more than others, and then you don't want to be a burden on them of paying for your food as well.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do share that. If you go, and we've done that many times, or we've gone out and we'll pay for them, they'll pay for us. It's
give and take turns, and
yeah.
we're usually fighting over who's going to pay.
Yeah, if we go out with my mom, she won't even let us.
Yeah.
It
So we
doesn't matter.
got her good when we were there.
Yes.
We were like, we had to order in. And then her brother's, okay, here's my credit card. And then I was just like, oh, there's no tap on my phone. So I guess I'll have to pay with her. So we were able to finally pay for a meal.
Yep.
Which is, we're like, yay, finally.
You can't do anything except that I know my brother and my mom, with when it clues into them, that they'll probably end up e-transferring money.
Yeah. If,
But we also did the thing for my little niece, where we went out and did a fun box shopping. So we bought her a bunch of clothes that she could play in, that if she had ruined them, it wouldn't matter.
yeah. We did a little bit of thrifting and
Yep. And stuff that she could play with outside. And
yes.
Yeah.
All little girl, she was into Elsa and Ariel and Disney princesses in general. And so we could find some stuff with that. So that was really fun.
Yeah. I think she tried on everything. We only got it for the day before we left, and I think she tried everything on. We got her not a few. Yeah. Every time I turned around, she was wearing something different.
But she even tried like the Taekwondo shirts that we brought.
Yep. Yeah. And she wanted you to teach her some Taekwondo.
We
That
went to
was
learn
cute.
all the Taekwondo.
Yeah.
So it was really, I think we keep saying it was so good.
It was fun. Yeah. It was
fun.
good.
But that's a good thing. Like it
Yeah.
just enriches our relationship with each other and with each other's families, because when you're with a relationship, even a friendship, sister relationship, like the person's not generally a single unit. Like they have extended family somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's why like it's important to that those people are important to them, so they're important to you. It's just like part of it. And it's such a I guess it shouldn't be so unique, but it is in our culture. Because how many families, like we have a lot of Punjabi families that live in Abbotsford, and they're such large families, and then they're all
Together.
they get together, they get to know they all know each other, their aunts and uncles and mothers and fathers and kids, and there's so much of a community that we lose out on in North America.
I had a thought while you're talking, that I think what it is that when you're kids, you're expected to have friends. And when you're adults, you're expected to be married and have kids. So your friends become married friends with kids.
Yeah.
So if you're a single person,
You're this outlier nobody knows quite what to do with, except maybe try to set them up on dates, because we need to fix singleness.
right, because it's broken.
It's a disease.
But if you're a single girl or a single guy and you have a friend who is just a friend who is of the same sex, then everybody is going to start assuming that you are in that kind of a relationship, even though you're not. So you tend to, as a single person, shy away from those kind of friendships because you don't want people to assume something that's not true.
And the thing is, when you live in the same house with somebody, you can end up with little nuances that a relationship person would end up in, like a boy and a girl or whatever relationship would end up, so that you have the inside jokes or the little looks and stuff, but they're not little like looks, but like we speak sarcasm. So that's our second language.
But you also get to know each other's likes and dislikes because you're in the same household. Because I do all the cooking, I know what you like and don't like. So I cater a lot of the meals that I make that's for both of us for that reason. It's no hardship on me because I'll eat anything, doesn't matter.
So I'm the picky eater.
It's more that you have some intolerances and texture or whatever.
Yes.
I get that because everybody was talking about textures and foods and stuff, and that was a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
But so you get that. So, even though it's not true, there is enough, because you're living in the same space, that you almost become like that unit thing.
Yes. Yeah. It's difficult. People, are you sure? Yes, we're very sure. We're very sure.
Very sure.
I always get that quote. Was it like the Shakespearean one that says, "Methinks they doth protest too much"? No, we're doth protesting just enough.
No, I quite like men.
Yes, me too. And we both been married to men, and
dark and handsome.
Yes,
I get goosebumps.
And yet in this day and age, it could be like you could be bi or poly or any of these things. So you could be like, you like guys, but you could also like girls, but not for us.
No. But that But this week trip really, did you feel that way? Yeah, it was weird, right?
I feel like we were meeting the in-laws. It was, but I'm introducing you to my family, and I'm introducing her to my family.
It's like, this is weird.
This is so weird.
And I hope you're laughing along with us because it was quite funny.
Yes. So it's just, yeah, it was weird, but in a good way. I think it was still good, and
We laughed about it.
and so maybe in your life you can see something like, yeah, I can be friends with this. Even if it's a guy, you can have a guy friend. That's why I would talk about friend zoned or whatever.
Yep.
But maybe you just had a platonic relationship with a person of the same gender or of the opposite gender. It really doesn't matter. You can still develop a relationship that's not sexual.
But it showed Patty because when I was driving around with her today, she said, you know what? I think I need more friends. She does have a best friend, but her best friend is really busy with her mom because her mom is aging and she spends a lot of time with her. So now Patty's kind of on her own with no other connection. She said, and I think because she saw the dynamic of our relationship, she's going, you know what? I think I need more friends.
Because you see like that. Because I didn't know what I was missing in my life until we had this relationship of sisterhood and sisters in Christ that I look back and I'm like, wow, yeah, I was definitely missing that dynamic. And that just having enough, because we are created to be in community.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is that something that Monique and I did while we were away is we got matching tattoos. They're friendship tattoos. If anybody wants to see a picture, let us know. We'll maybe post a picture.
We can put it on our website once it's done.
Yes. And we added some what's it called? Verse. Reference. That's the word I was looking for. Reference. Yes. We did Ecclesiastes 4:9-12. So it says, 2 people are better off than one, for they can help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, 2 people lying close together, not in a sexual way, just we'll think about context. 2 people lying close together can keep each other warm, but how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but 2 can stand back to back and conquer. 3 are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. And when that third one we add is God.
Yeah.
So that creates a 3. So that's 3 strands. So we thought, when we did the tattoo, I found those verses and I thought it was such a good reminder that why we have this relationship that we do is because God provided this to us, because living in community, and it, again, does not mean sexually.
No.
That 2 living in community can create a stronger force and a better life. And 3 with God in the mix, then it just creates a very fulfilling life.
Yep. Like even our ministry is not just the 2 of us. There's David, who also does our IT, and your cousin Andy, who does our
design and
artwork. Yeah. And we're just starting. So who knows who will join us later on.
Yes. So hopefully listening to this has given you encouragement to go and either find a friend or get a friend that you already have and think about traveling, creating those bonding times. Even it could just strengthen you don't have to be living in the same house. It can strengthen the friendship of a person that you're just friends with.
But there are also some other tips for traveling here, things that you should probably discuss with your traveling buddy. You want to make sure that each person has a budget for how much you're going to spend. Because if you're traveling, and this happened in Korea, because I have a lot of Korean friends, I was able to convert a lot of my Canadian money to the Korean won. But I was pretty much the only person who had a lot of Korean won. So people were like, I've got no money. I've only got Canadian. We couldn't find any place to.
Like outside the airport, because that's super expensive to convert there.
Yeah.
That we were so busy trying to get those few moments to be able to go convert some, to have cash on hand was difficult. So Monique was the bait.
Yep.
I think we ended up being evened out. Like we
Yep. It all balanced out in the end because you can use credit cards and stuff.
Yeah, it was
There,
just
so
more like the
it was just that when
straight
the
places.
street places when you needed money. So because I had such a, and I even came back with more with Korean won. Still have a 5.
Oh, nice.
Had some coins.
I think I had a few coins and I gave them to my brother and sister-in-law and the kids. So
Did you?
that's it. Kind of like with all the Korean stuff so they
Yep.
can learn about Korea.
Yeah. So that's a good take. That kind of experience as well from my travel page book is that make sure that you have some money on you that's already been converted to the currency of the place that you're going to.
It's usually better to maybe do it beforehand and find
Yep.
places that have a good exchange rate.
Yep.
Don't do it at the airports unless you
No.
have to.
There usually are places where you can actually do exchanges, which are better than going to a bank. In Abbotsford, there's one on Mount Lehman that will actually, it's an actual finance currency exchange place. Banks can sometimes charge a little bit more just for doing the conversion.
Yeah.
And a lot of banks don't carry the specific.
You have to give them enough time to be able to get.
Yeah. But if you can actually find yourself a currency exchange place, that's your best bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also understanding each other's personal habits if you're going to be sharing space, especially like a hotel room or something.
Like I know you shower quicker than I do. So it's better for me to let you go because then you're in and out and dressed and ready to go. You can already go down and go get something to eat while I'm just still working it out instead of you just sitting like a, yeah, down.
Or you know first, and then at least by the time I'm done, you've had some time to do stuff.
Depends on the day. Depends upon the day. Yeah. I think at the tech camp place, because there was no hot water, I went first, not realizing that there was no hot water, so I could tell you it's cold.
First day, yeah. We did eventually get hot water, but yeah.
But not that first day. Yep. And maintaining respect to respecting each other's personal space. Because especially if you're an introvert or if the person you're traveling with is not an introvert, being able to realize that as an extrovert, you want to go out and you want to party, but your introvert person may just want to stay in the hotel room and not to take offense if they do.
Yeah. Give them that time. Because like Monique and I have been living together for long enough that we don't count as introvert. Like, I don't think we create the exhaustion for being in each other's presence that happens when we go outside the house.
Yeah.
So we don't really say, I need a space from you, although we might just go to the separate rooms or whatever for whatever reason, but it's not the same.
No.
But as soon as we had that barbecue with your family, which was awesome. But man, I was so tired. I was so tired. Like I could barely keep my eyes open. Like it was really awesome. But the introvert part of me was so tired.
Yep. I actually took you down to my brother Daniel's room because he was playing his video game, and I knew that if you could just focus on that and it will help you center.
Yeah,
right?
I was just like, I can deal with this. And it's not, again, it was a wonderful experience. It was just the introvert part of me was like,
there was
people.
I know. It's exhausting for me, and I know all of them.
Yeah. So
I love all of them. But it was exhausting for me too. It was like timing when the thunder and lightning and it started to rain. I'm like, did you hear that? Did I say that, Madeline? They're all going home now. I can get my brain back together.
And then same with understanding that extroverts need that.
Yeah.
And then as an introvert, don't be upset if they do need to go out and do something. And
Yep. Go out, have fun. I'll be here getting my brain back together.
centering myself.
Reading ball, because that's really what I want to do. Trust me, it's really what I want to do.
So understanding that introverts and extroverts get energy and lose energy differently.
Yep. And sometimes even if you're going to a place, one person may really want to go see museums and the other person may really want to go shopping. It's okay to split for a day to go and do activities that you want to do separately.
Yeah. Or if you want to stick together, then try to be understanding
and accommodate.
So try to split it up evenly as best as you can.
Yeah. We hate shopping, so that's not a problem.
Yeah, we're just like,
and we love museums.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool thing. So, if you can find a buddy that's like, that helps too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just definitely interesting that God put us together.
Yeah. Yeah. And create memories. Take scads of pictures.
We're in a digital age. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. And you can actually get external hard drives that you can put into if you're taking pictures with your phone, you can get extra memory chips to put into your phone so that you can transfer all those pictures to that.
Yeah.
And once that's done, you get enough, take a few of them with you.
And I took some of our Korea pictures and I made a book.
Yeah.
So I have a book.
You have a book of journal.
Yeah, journal that. There's an app called Journey that I think it was Journi, like Journey. That's how they spell it. And you can take pictures and I added them to my journey. Every evening I go through, pick the ones I like the most. Yeah, because it's going to cost money depending on how many pictures you put in.
I took 1,700 pictures.
Oh, wow.
I didn't put them in my journey app.
No. But what was interesting is that the Journey app actually kept track of where I went. So it has a map at the beginning of the book of all the like where I went in Korea. And it could record like the weather and the date and stuff. So it actually has my pictures in date order. And I'll say this day you did this day. So it was really cool. And I'm sure there's other apps like it too, but the Journey one I would recommend. It cost me about $120, I think, to get like it wasn't thick, but you're going to pay for something that's good quality. And
now you've got that in a book memories. I just go, oh yeah, remember this day and that day.
Yeah. And whenever we talk about it, we can show people and be like, this one went to Korea. And then it pops up all the different memories in your head that you had for those things.
Yeah. And the trip with you to Korea wasn't my only trip that I've taken. Like my cousin Francis and Patty and I went through. My cousin Francis was living in Holland at that time. And I was really into the Outlander thing. So I wanted to go to Scotland. So I had already booked a trip to go to Holland to go see Francis. And I was going to go visit her. And then I was going to go to Scotland myself. So I arrived at her place to find out that Patty had also come to visit. So Francis says, why don't we all three of us go to Scotland together? Mm-hmm. And they had actually gotten together ahead of me and planned some of the things. One of the biggest surprises was when they took me to Stonehenge. I didn't even know we were going there. We actually arrived in the town that is outside of there, and apparently there's a sign, and both of them freaked out because they thought I saw it, but I was looking down. So I didn't see the sign. I'm going, what? Did you see that? See what? What did I miss? And they're going, you didn't see that? I see what? And then even when we left, I think I still didn't see the sign pointing the way there. So I had no clue until we arrived just outside and I'm looking going, hey, I know this place. I know this place. We couldn't get too close because they had it cordoned off. It had been raining a lot. And when you get a lot of tourists, it actually causes the stones, the ground and stuff to become unstable. So that was pretty cool. And then when we went through England and we went on a Beatles tour and we drove the whole way.
What's kind of crazy is in North America, where everything seems so far apart. There's like the United States and there's Canada. And if you want to go to Mexico or whatever, that's like a long way away. So when you go to Europe or anywhere like that, everything's much closer.
Yeah. So you can actually drive through, like from Holland to France to England to Scotland. You can almost do it in a day because they are so close together. But we spent some time in England and then we drove to Scotland and we drove all over Scotland. We did so much. We went to the Isle of Skye. We went through a whole bunch. Like, I'm a graveyard freak because I like to read the history of the people, who they were. And I could probably spend a long time just looking through graveyards because it's history, right? Yeah, we did the haunted tour, which was really cool. And it was just, but it was the three of us and we got silver rings.
Oh, that's cool.
That to commemorate our time in Scotland. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also left some of myself in Scotland because it fell on my feet. They're terrible. My cousins still laugh at me for that.
So that created a bond between you and your cousin.
Yes.
That wasn't there before. Or where there would have been a bond there, but like a greater bond.
It was a greater bond, yeah. And it was such an enjoyable time. We had so much fun. And it's a memory that we three always carry with us. Yeah.
Like our Korea one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Definitely traveling is definitely a bonding experience.
Yeah. So you do want to go with somebody that you can share those experiences with, who's willing to share them with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's funny when I think about with my ex. I don't think we bonded over much traveling. Even though we traveled much more than when, I don't feel like that same. No, because it was so much of a different relationship that it was always him motivated and where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do.
And it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You're just along for the ride.
Yeah. So there wasn't that same. So yeah, it definitely depends on who you're going with. Who you're going with is important.
It's very important. Yeah. Yeah. because you don't want to be the person sitting there going, why did I do this?
Exactly. Okay.
So,
So that sounds like
did we cover all of our bases?
I think so.
Yep.
I think we've chatted all our listeners' ears off for
Yep.
some. If you can tell, we really enjoyed our trip.
Yep.
And we've got the sore wrists with our tattoo to prove it. She's very itchy right now. More itchy.
Is yours itchy?
Mine's itchy.
Mine is not itchy, but it is a little
Scaly.
I don't know. Yeah. It's still a little tender, but not much.
It's always amazing how quickly it will heal.
God created us to heal quickly.
Yes. Even from self-infliction.
Torture. It was torture.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that we had something good to say, something enlightening for you, and maybe something to encourage you to go find a person to do some traveling with. It's definitely, as you can see, worth it when you have the right person. And so hopefully you can go have some fun somewhere else outside of your house. And if you'd like to contact us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or should I say X, formerly known as Twitter. And if you want to contact us, you can do it through there, or you can email us at route77ministries@gmail.com. That's ROUTE 77ministries@gmail.com. And you can tell us anything you like, anything you didn't like, anything that you would like to see in the future. Let us know. And I hope you come back and hear us next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
And that wraps up our episode. Remember, traveling can be about the shared experiences, the memories created, and the bonds formed, proving that not all profound connections need to be romantic. Whether you're a solo traveler or venturing out with friends, remember that every journey holds the promise of new relationships and deeper bonds. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring and live your single life to its fullest.